do. Does anyone have the Be Real app? Does anyone use that? It's real popular these days with teenagers. Essentially what it is, the app notifies you that you need to check in at a certain point in time. They give you a 2-minute window during the day, and you have to take a selfie of yourself and upload it to the network and share it with the company. I'm fascinated why this is so popular, because when I was a teenager, there was a similar thing where you had to check in like that, but instead of a phone, you wore this metal bracelet on your ankle, and it was called probation. And in this case, instead of having like a French CEO telling you when you have to check in, there's someone called a probation officer. Yeah, just a little history lesson for you. But it wasn't quite as popular back when I was a kid. Maybe it was ahead of its time. I'm not sure why. I heard that the Be Real app is actually coming out with a 2.0 version. It's called Be Real. This one, they give you a 10-minute window where you have to provide a urine sample and drop it off at the local Walgreens in a sealed biohazard bag. Now, it's a little bit more time they give you, but I'm sure this one will take off too, be just as popular. Out there. Billionaires are a weird species though, aren't they? I'm trying to figure out why they all want to go to space, like Elon Musk and these guys. I mean, are they looking for loose change out there? They have all the money they need here on Earth, they're going to go looking for more? Is Jeff Bezos just flying around in his Blue Origin rocket looking for like wallets of astronauts that passed away just floating around? I mean, is the Mars rover actually like Elon Musk's pet project with like a metal detector on the front of it? It's like looking for like wedding rings and silver dollars in the dust. I mean, I think the next people that are going to go to space are going to be lawyers. You know, once they've sued everyone here on Earth, they're going to have to find some other form of life to ruin. It's just how their species procreate, I guess. And this past summer, my wife and I celebrated our 20th anniversary. We went to Europe. Yeah, great time. Going strong. And we went to Spain, Barcelona, Spain. They say Barcelona there, if you've never been. But essentially they have these menus in the restaurants where the whole thing is appetizers. They call them tapas. They're good though. They bring you like, you know, little shrimp or squid, like fruit, like a big variety of things. So when I got back here to Utah, I'm like, hey, I gotta find some of these tapas. I found a good place. It was like standing room only. They brought me the weirdest mix of things. It was like a little piece of lasagna. I had like some dried fruit and like half a keto granola bar. I'm trying to remember the name of the place. It was like Costco. That's it. Yeah, so I think it's a chain actually. And I don't remember paying for it either. It was like all you can eat. I mean, I thought the prices were good in Spain. Costco. Costco is a funny place though. They've got these really smart people working in there. Seriously though. At the exit door, I don't know how these geniuses can scan like 200 items in your shopping cart and compare it with this giant receipt in like 3 seconds. What do they have, some sort of like pattern recognition skills? I mean, it's the first call that Mensa makes when you score genius level on your IQ test, like the headhunters at Costco. You do really well on the test. You're like, well, Mr. Kirkpatrick, we see that you scored a 185 on your IQ test. How would you like to change the world and come join us at the exit door at Costco? We'd like to invite you to a formal dinner at the Costco food court, located next to the Tire Center. How do you feel about bottomless fountain drinks and giant hot dogs? Is that how they get this caliber of people working at Costco? The only thing that Costco doesn't have is a drive-through. I think it's just physically not possible to fit like 3,000 rolls of toilet paper through a car window. They're working on it. I think they're beta testing a drive-through right now. You have to have a convertible, prepay only, and an executive club membership. They just drop a pallet right on top of you. A few people have passed away that way, but it keeps the shareholders happy. That's why they have the prepaid thing you gotta do there. Yeah, Drive-thrus, though. I mean, you can buy almost anything through a drive-thru these days. You can do your banking, get a pizza, laundry, I mean, you name it. Back in the 60s, I think the goal of America was to have a man walk on the moon, explore other planets. Today, I think it's that you can buy anything and do anything in a drive-thru in America. That's what it seems like. Pretty soon I could seem like an investment banker or like a private equity guy pulling up to a drive-thru. What can I get for you today, sir? And like a junior bacon cheeseburger, regular Frosty, and total control of your job and ownership of this Wendy's franchise restaurant. And that'll be $850,000 at the next window. Would you like any special sauce with that? Well, that's going to happen pretty soon at the drive-thrus. And I think McDonald's has taken the whole drive-thru thing to the next level. Just last month, they started offering Happy Meals for adults. I guess there was some guy like me, like in his 40s, that's having like a midlife crisis, pulls into the drive-thru, no kids in the car, orders a Happy Meal for himself, and he's like playing with a little plastic toy on the dashboard. Some manager in there's like looking out the window, he's like, that's what America needs right now. We need all the middle-aged people coming down here, dropping what they're doing and playing with little plastic toys. I think that's going to reverse inflation in our country. Apparently that's what happened. I mean, is McDonald's going to try to turn the whole place adult now? Put like a casino in the back, like a guy checking IDs at the door, turn the play place into like an H&R Block. Now you can get your taxes done while you're eating a Filet-O-Fish sandwich. Is that the goal here? I've had my own kind of like midlife crises, if you want to call it. I mean, you can ask my wife after if you want. There's really two types of people in their 40s. People that have a midlife crisis that haven't yet admitted to it, and people that have a midlife crisis that are now aware of it because their spouse has made them aware of it. Mine was I used to skateboard as a kid, and so I started skateboarding again in my late 30s. And I saw Tony Hawk doing it. He was like older than me, and I'm like, hey, he's doing it. I can do it. I broke my shoulder like the first summer doing it, which was really painful. But the more painful part, I had to show up to work with this sling, explain to everybody why I had a broken shoulder. You know, it just screams midlife crisis when you're doing that. Can't really avoid it. But then I kept pursuing skateboarding. I still do it, actually. I really like it. I know it's kind of lame. I actually like take the cool factor out of it when I pull up to skate parks in like a minivan with like the work slacks on. These teenagers are rethinking their rebellious choice. They're like, maybe I should try motocross or something else like that. But I used to work for Google. I lived in Michigan. We moved here a few years ago. And I started packing my skateboard in a suitcase, like diagonal, with the helmet and pads and all that stuff. And I'd check it in at the airport. And then I'd go to New York, Chicago. They have all these cool skate parks. And then there was one day I was going to Detroit Airport, and I was cutting it close with my flight. And I'm going through the checklist in my mind to make sure I have everything I need for the trip. I got the skateboard, the helmet, the pads. I even brought some extra shoes, some shorts. What is it? I'm forgetting. Sunscreen. I got sunscreen. I got the little wrench for the trucks and all this stuff. Oh, forgot the laptop, the computer. Like the whole reason I'm going on the trip. So I called home, panicked. I'm like, oh, I forgot my laptop. If I come home, I'm not going to have time to check my bag at the airport. I won't be able to bring my skateboard. It's this big panic moment. So my wise wife says, just ditch the skateboard. So I did on that trip. I didn't bring the skateboard. So thank you for that. But at the airport, I'm always fascinated by the airport security. They randomly screen you and they ask you if you'd feel more comfortable getting a pat down from some guy named Boris in a private room. Like, when has this ever worked out for anybody? You're in some non-jurisdiction airport. Typically people, when they're like exchanging cash at a open train station because they want people around to see them, or someone be able to hear them if they scream. I mean, all the James Bond movies I've seen, you get tortured in private rooms. The real test is just start insulting Vladimir Putin in front of the guy. If he starts paying Putin compliments and sweating a little, you know he might be KGB. So just a little travel tip for all of you. That's it for me tonight. I'm Marc Allen, M-A-R-C-A-L-A-N. So find me at marcallencomedy.com or on YouTube, Marc Allen Comedy. And thanks for having me.